it's filling up time again. One of the things I have to fill up are my potatoes. I keep these out in the winter because it's nice and cool in the kitchen and in the house. In the summer, I have to keep in the refrigerator. They start to sprout. So I have some red potatoes here. I have a nice big piece of ginger and some garlic. Evidently, you can't put onions and potatoes together. I would love to do that because I have a bunch of red onions, but this is what I've got for now. I'm going to pull these white ones on top because they're a little bit older than the red ones. Actually, I should take them out altogether because I have more white ones to add, and I want to sort of use them in order of appearance. So I have these little tiny white ones. I'm going to pour them on. See, one is starting to sprout there. Oh, a couple are starting to sprout. I'll eat those first. And I have another bag of white potatoes, and I think I'm pretty good here with the potatoes for a while. I have some cauliflower I'm going to steam, and I mix the steamed cauliflower with steamed potatoes and make little fritters out of them. They're so good for breakfast. So here we go. I think they're sprouting because the bag might have been a little wet. I think that's going to do it for my my potatoes here, and I still got those others to put on top. I do have a wider basket, but it takes more room in the counter, so I thought I would just go higher instead of wider here. Well, that's a tower, isn't it? There we go. I'm gonna put it on the counter right now and start eating my way through it. I've run out of baskets, but I do have this tray, and I have some sweet potatoes I'm gonna put in there. It's gonna take up some room, but I hope to be eating these within the next 2 to 3 weeks, all of them. I found a really good recipe for sweet potato waffles that look kind of interesting. Always looking for stuff to kind of get me ready in the morning. If I have a good breakfast, I am set for multiple hours. There we go. As I use them up, I will be making the container a little bit smaller. I just finished a tiny little watermelon I got at the food bank, and you know, I find I do best when my fruits and vegetables are cut up and ready to go. So with the finishing of that, I'm now going to take care of this pineapple. I'm just going to cut it into, you know, bite-sized pieces. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to store it in. I think I'm going to store them in these Dollar Tree containers. Usually pineapples, there's a lot to them. Whatever I have left here, I put into compost. It's been pouring, so I guess I'll have to do it in the rain, right? And I cut off the top. Now I'm going to cut off the bottom. I'm sure there are more efficient ways to do this. I'll have to see how much of it is good. It looks pretty good. Actually, it looks great. More compost. And then what I like to do is just cut it up like into quarters or eighths or whatever. Take out the core, take off the peel, and just put it right into the container so I can just stick a fork in it. See, that one I cut into halves. This one I'm going to cut into thirds. Might be a little easier to manage. Yeah, it looks like it. And here's how I do it. I just cut that core out, cut the peel off. Careful with your fingers. I'm trying to do a better job with that. I used to cut myself a lot until I decided I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing when I have a knife in my hand. Cut off the little pieces that are not edible, and then I just take a knife and make little slices like that. I already have some in there, so I'm gonna put some more in there, and it's filling up pretty quickly, so we'll see how much of the pineapple I can get in there. Well, what do you know, they all fit in the one container. I got these from Dollar Tree. I love them because they have this snap-on lid. I also like the shape because they're tall and skinny. They just slide right into the fridge or your cabinet. When I have an excess of vegetables or just a few vegetables left, I prep them for a meal. I'm going to be breading these green tomatoes and leftover zucchini and putting them in my air fryer, convection, countertop oven, whatever the heck that is. You can fry them too in oil, and just make them for my next meal. This way stuff doesn't end up at the back of the refrigerator. It's ready to go. I got some of these at Trader Joe's. They're freeze-dried strawberries. I thought they'd be good to try baking with or just eating as a snack. But I don't trust anything in a bag out here with the out here in the woods with the little critters we have running around, so I'm going to put them in a container. Hopefully they'll fit. I hate these narrow mouth containers, but that's what I have right now for stuff like this. I like to rubber band the label to the outside so I remember what it is. This is going to go in with my other dehydrated foods. Well, it's snack jar time again. I don't really have any new snacks, but I do want to finish all the snacks I already had in pantry storage. What has surprised me is how much I am enjoying these little microwave popcorn packages. I usually make my own popcorn, but this is just the right size. So I have one in the snack jar, and I have 4 more here. So I'm going to try to just stick them all in here again, just to kind of clear space. There. Might be too crowded for anything else. Still have my last Belvita. I'll put that on the top. These have been really good. I don't eat these as much as I thought I would. I actually save them for if I'm going to work or on a car trip, because with the whole wheat and the fig, these are surprisingly filling. They can really hold me. But I do want them to be where I can access them. So I'm going to try to jam the rest of these in here. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Put that Velveeta in there, and we'll see. I might make it. It'll be nice, and then it clears up all my storage of other snacks. So there, we've cleared up some storage in the pantry. It's all in the snack jar. Looking pretty good. All accessible for whatever need might come up. It's definitely cereal time. I have this box of cereal. I usually get the big bags at Walmart or Grocery Outlet, but I have this box. So I'm going to try to fit it all into here. We'll see. I probably could measure the ounces or whatever, but I prefer to wing it. Let's see what happens. I've never had this cereal before, but because it's these little tiny pellets, I guess, I think it's probably going to fit pretty well. It's now or never. Let's see what happens. Whoops. We were very close up to the top, but I still have some left. I'll put this in a smaller jar. I think this old mayonnaise jar is going to be big enough. From time to time I go ahead and clear off all of the labels with Goof Off. I don't have enough right now to do that, so I'm going to stick that in there, and we'll see if my instincts were right. Yep, perfect. I went ahead and put labels on with a rubber band on the containers. I'm not familiar with this cereal, and I want to remember what it is when I go to try it. I got this little container with the like squeeze top or whatever at Dollar Tree for oil. I actually got the idea from Martin's Midlife Misadventures. I was watching Ashley cook, and she had this. Basically, you just turn it over and pour it into the pan. It helps control the flow of oil for sure. So I'm trying to finish up this. I just have a little bit of oil here, so I'm going to put it in here as much as I can, and the rest I'm just going to have to grin and bear it. I really want to clear space on my pantry shelves. So I still have a little bit left. I'm going to be doing some baking, and some of it might call for oil, so I'm going to set that aside. And this one, the little squeeze top, is about as full as it can get, and that stays here on the counter. Well, we're almost done. You may have noticed earlier I had a crock pot on the left hand side there. I was making beans all day. I made some white beans for a dip I'm going to make, and some garbanzo beans for another dip I'm going to make. I have quite a few cucumbers, so I like to make good things to dip those cucumbers into instead of crackers. My final task before I go to bed is to start the dehydrator. I got a request for some dehydrated apples with no cinnamon sugar on them, so I'm going to start that up pretty soon, and that'll run all night. So it's been a very rainy day, stormy, but very productive here. I hope you are staying warm and safe and happy this December. Thank you so much for watching.